सन्मात्रमद्वयमनामयचिच्छरीरं तत्त्वं पदार्थनिगमामृतबोधरूपं कोऽहं विचारमहसैव च बोधनीयम् आनन्दमात्मरमणं शरणं प्रपद्ये।
ओम नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यः। हरे ओम। उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धाम दाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्याम् जागर्तु चित्ते मम बोधरूपं विद्राविताशेषतमो गणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्यमायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महांस्तत्त्वमसीति बोधम्। ओम तत्सदाख्यं पुरुषं गुहेशं भक्तार्तिनाशाय शरीरवन्तं मोदस्वरूपं मधुरस्वभावं त्वाम् आत्मनाथं रमणं भजामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं। प्रज्ञानां शुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्थविष्टान् पुनरपि धिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ्मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयं परम् अमृतम् अजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि। यस्मिन्नेव भवेत् स्थितं जगदिदं यस्यैव सर्वं जगत् यस्मात् सर्वमिदं भवेत् समुदितं यस्मै समस्तं भवेत्। एनेदं निखिलं जगत्समुदयात् सर्वं यदेव स्वयं सत्यं गुप्तधनं तदेव हृदये तत्सत्परं धीमहि। उत्तरावध श्लोकम् bhūbharam. This work Anubandham, Ulladu Narpadu Anubandham is a collection. So many aspects of Vedanta comes into it from various places. In Tamil, Bhagavan uses a word, a synonym for ocean. It is called Munnir. Munnir means three waters. ஆற்று நீர், ஊற்று நீர், மழை நீர். One is the river water running into it, and the other is that pours down from the sky. And the third one is the original source that comes from within. These three water sources, it makes the ocean. Like that is spiritual experience also. What you get from the scriptures, especially say scriptures, not books, because books means anyone can write a book. Now it is comparatively very easy. You can download anything from the net and write, or you just say that ChatGPT, write a book for me, it will write it. So scriptures, the knowledge that you get from to more bring it to narrow down the thing to more simplicity, what comes in the Upanishads and the traditional teaching. It is the river water. You have to go and take it. Once in a while you meet a great sage, a liberated person, Jivan Mukta. It is like the rainwater. You cannot always get it. Or even if you see, you have to recognize all that happens by pure grace. So that is like the rainwater. And at last comes the inner spring. It opens the inner source. It is called the ஊற்று நீர். என்ன சொல்றது? ஊற்றுக்கு என்ன? Spring. The inner spring. So that is the experiential wisdom. But we need all this. Especially when we cannot expect like Bhagavan that you just lie down, immediate death experience and come out of it enlightened. You have to depend upon everything to hold you in that level. With all our effort, the mind will go down. Seekers who have toiled for decades, they still say we are not able to control the mind, we are not able to remain in that state, all these things they say. See, Tiruvannamalai is a spiritual university. You can meet all kind of people. All people, we have seen all that, so many years here, meeting so many seekers, and for me, I had the association with traditional people also, and many other ashrams also. So all kind of things I have seen. Householders' life, life of monks, I have stayed with them. So it is not a thing as generally people imagine, but imagination is beautiful. You come from America thinking that 1 month leave, when I go back I will be enlightened. That imagination is very beautiful. See, that imagination is good. After all, our whole life runs in imagination. But when you face the fact, then you know that Bhagavan uses a word, arul poratam, a war with grace. The word is not a war with mind. It is a war with grace. Actually, the battle is between Arunachala's grace and your mind. The grace is trying to penetrate. You think you are striving to attain, and your mind is against. No. Arunachala's grace is trying to enter, but you have closed all the doors. And with all that, he makes a space to enter you. Somehow to catch hold of you. When you refuse to listen, a great saint Manikya Vachakar, he says, I refuse to listen. With mine, I was wandering in the world and was headlong going into the world of indulgence. And then that being, whom the Vedas were searching, stood on my way. When I was only 7 years old, there was that small, what they call, Subeka. It means it's a 35cc scooter. You don't need license for it, very small scooter. So someone has bought, that is very rare in our village. So he said, you can also drive it. So I was 7 or 8 years old, I sat on it. Only one thing I learned, how to give accelerator, no brake. Going on giving accelerator, the vehicle, it went towards a abysmal pit. After that there is a pond. So in few minutes, even then I could not even stop accelerating, because that is the only lesson I know. But the moment I reached that steps, there were steps there, one person was coming up. He just caught hold of me. But I cannot imagine that person. I cannot expect that that person will come. This is grace. You go headlong into a fall, and that great being which the Vedas are seeking, he comes on your way. And not only that, he also can give you a beating. Of course, that person did not do, but here Manikya Vachakar says, adit. Otherwise, I will go there. So he was giving me slap after slap, adit. And when I start crying, he put sweet in my mouth. Akaram titriya adishayam ariyene. What a wonder. It means blocking your way towards world. In Bhagavata, there is a shloka which says, you have 4 doors to go. One door is to lead a virtuous worldly life, dharma. And second door is to gather wealth, artha. Of course, it is also for virtuous life, dharma. And third is kama, desire. That is also for virtuous life. And the fourth is moksha, liberation. When a person finds that all the 3 doors are closed, he is not even allowed to lead a good worldly life, that door is closed. His door to earn wealth is also closed. And of course, his door for enjoying the pleasures of the world is also closed. And only one gate is open. And that is for liberation. Any help you want in that door, you will get. If you try to go to any other, knock any other gate, you will be punished. So that is the power of grace which Bhagavan calls as Arul Poratam. A fight between your ego and Ishvara's grace. Actually, that is spiritual life. When you start spiritual life, you come to Tiruvannāmalai or read Bhagavan's book, means you are caught. Now the power of grace is activated. Now, actually, you are not doing sadhana. There begins a fight between your resisting power and the power of grace. The ego cannot help in realization. It can only resist. When an iron doll is running towards a magnet, suppose you make Arunachala with magnet, and small dolls made of iron, they rush towards Arunachala. You can think that the doll is so much bhakti, so much sadhana, it is going and getting attached to Arunachala. But does the doll do anything? Yes, it is doing. It is resisting. And the power of the magnet is pulling the doll, overpowering the resistance. So the jiva is constantly doing one thing, that is resisting liberation. All our education, all our intellectual knowledge, all our power, sensory power, everything is for resisting liberation. You are a little bit careless, you will get realized. That is what I told that day, as Sureshwaracharya says, this ignorance, the so-called ignorance, non-realization, is like a ball that you are balancing in your nose. How much time you can keep it there? A little careless, it will fall. Like that, your bondage is only due to the power of ignorance. So, the moment you know, so that is the power of grace, Kripa. Arul Poratam. Arul or grace is, see, you can see in Bhagavan's life what happened. He did not do sadhana. He just surrendered to the Arul, that grace. So his spiritual quest and attainment, everything was finished in one shot. Usually, in great saints' life, even in Buddha's life, you can see the samskara of sadhana. Samskara means the footprints of what all sadhanas that he did. But in Bhagavan's case, there is no footprint of any sadhana, because his whole attainment was pure grace. A little bit that he did, like, what is this I? I am not the body dies. Then what is this I? Only that much of turning the intellect towards the ever available existence. Only that much movement from the ego to the self. That single little bit of movement is there in his teaching. But actually, Muruganar in Guru Vachaka Kovai says, even that is not Bhagavan's teaching. Bhagavan's teaching is sumaiyai. You are that. Tattvamasi. So, That is the direct thing. And then all sadhanas. Why do we need all sadhanas? We need all sadhanas, that is to tune the instrument. One veena player, musician, goes to Buddha. That is a very famous incident in Buddha's life. In many stories that people quote about Buddha, Buddha does not know. Many stories they make out, but this is there. There is a musician. He asks Buddha about that state, how to remain in that state, where Buddha asks him, when you tune your veena, how do you do it? If you tune the string, make it more tight, what will happen? He said, it will break. If you keep it very loose, what will happen? I cannot play. It will not have that. Yes, Shruti Charkrat என்ன சொல்றது? Attunement. So, like that, you have to tune the body, the mind, the everything in such a way that it will no more disturb you. That's all. It cannot directly help, but keep it away so that it will not disturb you. That is how the rituals, all these rituals developed. Many people ask, what is the connection between who am I and Giri Pradakshina? Nobody can say. One Westerner asked me, he was coming for the first time. This happened about 5 years, I think. He asked me, I read Ramana Maharshi's teaching from some country, I don't remember. He said, but when I come here, I find this very curious habit of going around this hill. And what is the connection of this going around the hill, which looks very absurd because that teaching is very, very rational. You inquire who am I and go inside. Fortunately, on that day when he asked, I had no time. Otherwise, I would have confused him perhaps. So I didn't tell anything because I had to go to Chennai. I said, I will see you if possible after coming back. Now I am in a hurry. Somebody introduced him right in front of Bhagavan's Samadhi. So I went away and I forgot that. After 2 or 3 weeks, one day I was coming from that side to this side. Then I saw this person, whole body full of ashes and going around the hill. Then I got hold of him and asked, you only asked me this question? Yes. What happened? What is this? He said, I found it helps. Although it is logically, I could not find the answer, but somehow, see, at least it keeps you away from disturbing activities. Any ritual is like that. That is why, Buddhism, they gave up everything, but they started of their own. The Vedic rituals they gave up. But you see in the Tibetan Buddhism, so many rituals. It is the need of the physic, the body. The body has to do something. They will be doing namaskara after namaskara, something they will do. So the body will need some activity, something. So all these things are there so that you can tune your body and mind, everything, to keep it in such a state that it will no more disturb the inner poise. And when everything is ready, When the intellect is free of all vikshepamala, distraction, and when there is the blazing shraddha and bhakti, then the enquiry becomes very effective. Then the real initiation happens. Bhagavan's initiation is outside his presence, the teaching. Inward initiation is you directly feel the pulsation of I within you. That spurana, that spandana within you. You wonder within what is happening. What is this I which is throbbing inside me? You focus on that. That is what happened to Bhagavan himself in Madurai. Suddenly, Bhagavan says, somebody asked Bhagavan, what is the difference between the former state and this? Bhagavan said, like the Shruti note behind the music, in the Carnatic music. Like that, there is that spurti of aham, I. That one thing is completely projected to my inner focus. That aham spurana. So that is realization. Because your whole attention is turned towards the reality. Yes, sakshat aparokshat brahma. That Brahman is shining in the heart incessantly as aham. I. Even while all the states come and go, it remains the changeless principle. It is our experience. It is our anubhava. We don't need any authority from outside for that. We know our existence, our I, our anubhava. A changelessness, if experience of changelessness, existence, someone called it as existential experience. Experience means people will confuse it with color, with feeling, with thoughts, with objects. It is the experience of the amness. Irup, Bhagavan used the word irup. Iru-mu-p exists, shines forth. So, that is jnana, that is sakshatkara, and the very quality of that is shanti. As we said yesterday, it is shanti, peace. Chittatin shantiyate siddhamam mukti. That shanti is liberation. That peace is Shiva. It is Shiva. Upanishad says, Shantam Shivam Advaitam. It is synonymous. Shantam Prapanchopashamam Shantam Shivam Advaitam. Prapanchopashamam, where the world is not. The world is subsumed, erased, involuted. Shantam, it is profound peace. It is Shivam. It is Shiva. So this is the Samadhi of Jnanam. It is Jnana Samadhi. Bhagavan remained in that Samadhi. And for us, when we speak about it, we listen to it, it is Samadhi. Because when you listen, you can listen with your whole being. your attention will be on that ever shining light within. So the very listening is samadhi. It is Shravana Samadhi. Kathayantas shamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. As Gita says, you talk about it, listen about it, contemplate on it, remain on it. That is a kind of ecstasy, a samadhi. Okay, this is one topic. Today, again Bhagavan comes back to that. The next verse is 17th verse is bhūbharam tāṅgi. That also we have already spoken. Like, we are not the I am not the doer. We have all the stress, tension about life because we think we are responsible for everything. You have to take it spiritually, otherwise you will become irresponsible. It is just to know that the doership is a flimsy thing, not real. It is mithya, illusory. Ishvara is the doer. That is the easiest way to be free of stress. See, when you have faith, bhakti, you see, so many births austerity fructifies as true devotion. Such a person is really blessed because his mind is like a child. Somewhere in Bible it is there, no? What is that? They alone enter the kingdom of God whose heart is like a child. So if you have that much innocence, when the Avadhuta Dattatreya is walking the street, whatever he is seeing, he is taking it as Guru. And he sees a child running here and there laughing. In absolute freedom, he thinks that he is a Guru to me. The Upanishad says, after perfectly knowing the truth, you have to know. Otherwise you become like a child. There is some other place you have to go. You will be taken to mentally retarded home. So that is not the thing. With absolute knowledge, with crystal clear knowledge, the person no more bothers about intellectualization. He just becomes absolutely free like a child. Pandityam nirvidya balyena tishthasayat. So the Dattatreya takes that child as his Guru. Bhagavan also once said, these children are our gurus. One little child of G.V. Subramanya, she was making so much mischief in Bhagavan's room. She was taking Bhagavan's books, taking Bhagavan's walking stick. And Bhagavan very often will ask, what are you doing? Somebody asked Bhagavan, what is the state of a jnani? Bhagavan did not reply. Because this girl was doing so much mischief there. Bhagavan said, what are you doing? She said, nothing, Bhagavan. Onnum kedayadu. And Bhagavan again and again asked, she said, nothing. Bhagavan said, see, this is the state of a jnani. You are doing, but you are not doing. No doership. Nothing affects you. it looks very comfortable, but you try that, then you will find it difficult. The doership will come. Good things you do, certainly. My name is put there, it will come. And bad things, the inner conscience will prick. So to be absolutely free of that is freedom. For that, if you have that kind of faith that Ishvara is taking care of everything, then you will live in what they call abandon, complete usage complete freedom. So that is the last verse. Next verse is not connected to this. It is the famous verse which speaks about the heart center. Actually, we have already spoken about heart center in the very beginning. Hridaya kuhara madhye. That is the heart center. Heart, Hridayam means Brahman. It is not some place, some spot. But those who identify with the body, for them there are many spots referred. Some meditate in the eyebrows, some meditate in the neck, some in the heart center, and there are some who meditate in navel and lower parts also. It's all there in the Yoga Shastra. Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna. All these chakras are mentioned. And there are people who meditate like that. And meditation is of various type. Some Bhakti Marga, they meditate on Lord as standing in front. Not on any part. As standing in front. They can see the Lord outside. In some form they meditate. And this is an elaborate science. What will you call for that science? Esoteric science. Esoteric science. So many things are discussed there. From Mooladhara to Sahasrara, each chakra there is some devata. That is a different path. So, every spiritual tradition will have its esoteric side also. You have to clearly understand this. If it is a true spiritual tradition, there will be the highest jnana. It should be there. Then, the path through which that jnani travelled. Ramakrishna, you see, all that Divine Mother's worship, Krishna worship, everything is there in that path. Because he did all that. He travelled through that path. In Buddhism also, so many paths are there. They say Buddha practiced all this. Many kind of pranayama, vipassana is there, many pranayamas are there, many yogic methods are there. So there will be a esoteric side which they called rahasyam or the secret. Jnanam, Vijnanam, Rahasyam, Angam. Jnanam is the spiritual teaching, like Bhagavan's teaching of who am I. Vedanta is Jnanam. And the esoteric side is what is this? The Dahara Vidya. Many spiritual teachers say Ramana Maharshi's teaching is very clear, it is pure Vedanta. But one thing alone we don't understand. They don't oppose. They say what Bhagavan speaks about the right side heart. That many great teachers, they say, that thing we don't understand. They need not understand. You need not explain to them also, because that is the rahasyam of Arunachala. That is the esoteric. What is the noun of that? என்ன சொல்றது அதுக்கு? Pardon? Esoteric. Right, esoteric. Okay. Esoteric. How do you pronounce it? Right. Thank you. So, esoteric science, we can say. That is the upasana. The upasana shastra. And that upasana shastra Bhagavan gives two things. One is the connection to Arunachala. And that is only here. You come to Tiruvannamalai, this power of Arunachala, going around Arunachala, that is for those who live in Tiruvannamalai. But wherever they are, to them, a upasana, meditation method, a spot where they should meditate, which will help them in kindling the fire of inquiry within them. You should not rationalize that. It is like this. No, you go to a Ayurvedic physician, they catch hold of the Nadi Pariksha, the pulse. And I have seen them doing magic with that. One of our devotees, he came to our village and there was a Vaidya there. Actually, he came to show his wife. And she said, please look at his pulse also. He said, no, nothing problem, no problem for me. I don't want to show it. Then he said, no, just show your hand. He just caught hold of his pulse, few seconds, and he said, you have prostrate problem. That person was shocked because he had some problem. He was diagnosing this hospital, that hospital. So many doctors. After that, just before coming there, they have come to the conclusion that he has prostrate problem. So much diagnosis they have done. This Ayurveda Vaidya, he just caught hold of his hand for a few seconds and just put it down and said, that cannot be taught easily. That comes through experience, through so many things. What they say, as the strings in a veena for a musician sings all songs. Like that, for a good physician, the pulse will speak all the diseases, all the problems. Yada veenagata tantri sarvan ragan prabhashate evam dehagata nadi sarvan rogan prabhashate. So this is the verse. So this is how it works. That comes through the experience, through various kind of spandana. But this Nadi Pariksha is not there in Ayurveda. Formerly it is not there. It was not there. Later on only it came. Like that, this Dahara Vidya, which Bhagavan speaks, you cannot see it in the Upanishads everywhere. Hridaya Vidya is there. Hridaya Vidya, the Upanishad speaks, the Chandogya Upanishads speak, but not like what Bhagavan says, the right side of the body, etc. Bhagavan gives authority to it from some Ayurveda Grantha, and one Upanishad not much known, it is the Sita Upanishad. And he speaks about Vishnu Srivatsa, that Narayana who is lying down in his Adishesha. His Srivatsa is on the right side of the heart. Srivatsagritir bhutva Dakshina Vakshastale Vishramyati Sa Yoga Shakti. This is the verse. That Yoga Shakti rests, it keeps itself merged in the right side heart of Vishnu during the deluge, the Mahapralaya. So that verse Bhagavan quotes. All these Bhagavan says it is my experience, and when they ask more pronouncedly, people ask, what is this right side heart? Bhagavan says it is neither in the right side nor in the left side. It is where the entire world is located. From there the I thought arises. From there everything arises, and into which everything goes back. That is the heart. So that also Bhagavan said. But for certain people, in Bhagavan's presence, they had the experience of the heart. This right side heart. And they had imaginary experience also, exactly like the Vedic mantra, Narayana Sukta, speaks about it, like a lotus which is downward looking, and suddenly it spreads out, blossoms, and petals are open. Like that many had experience. This is perhaps Bhagavan's past janma upasana, something like that. And for that, Bhagavan gives many other rational explanations, like when you say I, you should like here. Nobody is saying I. You go anywhere in the world, nobody says I. And nobody says I also. And our thigh is very near to the hand. You can just say I. You need not take the hand 180 degree this side. It's a very difficult mudra, I. But everyone does that. Bhagavan is referring to this. See how you do it. One person asked Bhagavan, the heart experience, how will we find? Bhagavan said, experience. By experience you can know. Whose experience? You have the experience. Bhagavan said, you have the experience. Me? Bhagavan said, see, this is the experience. Intuitively you recognize. There is a genetic intuition by which you recognize. I. You say I. So about that center, what is the use of that center? You can see in old mountain path, you go and refer. There was a section in the last part. Some devotee will ask how to do who am I? And they will say, I am doing japa, or shall I continue to do who am I, japa, etc. There you will find either Arthur Osborne or very rarely Vishwanatha Swami giving them explanation about this heart center. Somewhere some person says, I am trying my best to inquire who am I. But my mind is not concentrated. What should I do? To him, Arthur Osborne gives an instruction. He says, Bhagavan has given us a help. Osborne practiced this sadhana, hence he says that. We have all found that it helps. You can pay attention to the right side heart and continue to inquire who am I. I have employed this in a different way. 2 or 3 cases, some therapy. Somebody said, I have so much headache when I try to meditate. They are all good sadhakas. So much headache. And most of the cases, if I inquire, they would have directly started meditating on the bhru madhya. this spot between the eyes. That is a yogic method. It is not at all prescribed for a beginner. That will naturally, somebody will teach such meditation and they will get into trouble. So you have to stop that kind of meditation. They will say, my attention is locked there, what can I do? The moment I close my eyes, my attention is there and headache also begins. For such people, the best way is to strongly hold the hand here. Give a little pain and concentrate there. You can have meditation of Bhagavan's form or Arunachala's form or just who am I there. Bring the attention to that spot. Most of the case, they came out of the headache problem. Because the attention is somewhere in the body, whether you accept it or not. From Mooladhara to Sahasrara, in some chakra it will be sitting. It's not actually chakra, it is plain. It is plain. Basic instincts is there in the lowest plane that we all know. Or eating, sleeping, survival instinct. The moment true spiritual quest begins, the force has already found its way into the Anahata Chakra. Not the spiritual heart, the path heart. And true purity further higher. But what Bhagavan speaks, this heart center, is not that path. It is about the enquiry of who am I. When you pay attention to that right side heart, your attention naturally turns towards the I thought and gradually to the pulsation of I, the spurti within. And this heart center, Bhagavan is speaking, iru-mu-p nadu-mār-padi-vairitan mel. Iru, padikal. இரு வீரல் வலத்தே இருப்பதும் இதயம் அதன் முகம் அகல் இகல் உளதகம் முள சிறுதுளை This portion you have to just believe Bhagavan and study. There is no other way. Between the two paps, below the chest, above the stomach, there are 6 organs of various colors. Of these, one looking like a lily bud is the heart, at 2 digits distance to the right of the center. This is Ashtanga Hridayam Ayurveda Grantha. From there Bhagavan has taken this. Next is, its mouth is closed. Within its cavity is seated a heavy darkness. That is why when you go to sleep, you sleep in darkness there. Filled with all desires, the plane of dream. All the great nerves are centered there. The home it is of breath, mind, light of knowledge. இருமுலை நடுமார்பு அடிவயறு இதன் மேல். Above the navel, the chest, 2 digits right side. இரு-mu-p உள. இரு-mu-p is 6 things. உள்ளன. நிறம் பல, various colors. You can see all this in Tantra Shastra. Even in Lalita Sahasranama you can see various colors in various planes. ஆம்பல் அரும்பு என. ஆம்பல் is lily, the lily flower, lily bud, like that. உள்ளே இருவிரல் வலத்தே இருப்பது இதயம். There it is like the lily bud. அதன் முகம் இகலுளது. It is closed. When due to enquiry, self-enquiry, the ego I is the key. You hold on to that, that center is opened. Aham ula shirudulai, a small sushiram. Even the Vedic mantra says this, sushiram. Tasmin sarvam pratishthitam. There is a small hole there. Adanil asadi asadiyodu. Adanil ஆசை முதலான ஆசாதியோடு, desires, all kind of desires, all kind of imaginations, feelings, sensations, everything is there. See, this is very easy because when you close your eyes, a darkness comes and covers everything and you dream. The world of dream opens. All the desires, all kamam purusho nirmimanaha, says the Upanishad. All these things comes. So first when you enter, that is the place, the heart center. And the source for that all dreaming is tamam. Tamam means tamah, irul, darkness, ignorance. And there all the nerves, shatam chaika hridayasya nadya, all the 101 nerves are connected there. And through all the nerves, all the sensations travel all through the body. That is why wherever you touch, the mind is there. The entire body is carrying all these nerves. Wherever you touch, you feel, I am being touched. The eye is there everywhere, flowing through all the nervous system. So, and only one nerve that is closed, that is the sushiram. That when the spiritual initiation happens, that is being opened. That is what I said, in Bhagavan's presence many had that experience. Something suddenly opens up and travels from the heart to the head. Bhagavan used to demonstrate this to Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni. Ganapati Muni said, the head is the center. Bhagavan said the heart is the center. And one person was sitting there and sleeping. Bhagavan said, see, this head office is off. Here is the center. And when that person heard the noise, he stood up. See, now the current is traveling. The head is erect. Otherwise the head goes down. But this trunk, what we call the kabandha, it is steady. From there, the force travels. From the heart, hridayad, tavadhama shiraf paramam. It travels there. So it's a very complex thing. It is not needed for everyone. Whenever you encounter some spiritual experience, then you can vouchsafe for all these things. So, this is the physical explanation of the right side heart, which Bhagavan says. It is not Bhagavan's shloka. It comes from the Ashtanga Hridaya, Ayurveda Grantha. So we need not go much into it, and not much use for that now. What is needed is you can have that center, that attention in that right side center, and inquire, who am I? That's all. That is for today. Yato mamatma bhavasi tvameva tato na vachyam mama kinchidasti yatha tavishtam kurumam tatheva tvam atmanatham ramanam bhajami. Actually, all this self-inquiry, everything is being propounded, expounded by exploring our simple experience, like waking state, dream state, deep sleep. Just these three. You will understand what need to be understood. That's all.